Hey family, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Cut Nice 50, and this is One on One with Cut Nice 50. Today, man, we got another video review, this time featuring for the first time Smart Christian's channel. I have the full link in the description below, and this video right here is going to be titled When Your Words Offend. So I think a lot of us go through this one right here. Today, man, it's going to be a little busy for me. I have a little less time, so I chose a shorter video to do a review. But if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. We got exciting content coming from you each and every day. So stay tuned, subscribe, and get ready to watch this amazing video. With that being said, any questions or comments, like always, make sure you ask. Let's get busy.
When you mess up, that's how you clean it up. For anybody that would want to condemn him for that, how do you condemn him for it if afterwards he comes back and apologizes? What do you want him to do?
Hopefully we don't get no copyright.
Then asked about this today. What do I think about what happened at this young brother's church? Now, I'm not sure how old he is. Pretty sure he's a good ways younger than me, maybe about 10, 20 years younger than me. I'm not sure. Seems to be pretty excited about the Lord. Again, I don't know a lot about his doctrine, hadn't seen enough about him, but it just so happened that I was watching something on yesterday. And this was, I can't remember if this was before I was getting ready for church or after I came back. I think it was before I went to church. And he was giving an apology. So I didn't even see the sermon, but he was giving an apology about something that he said the previous week, a word that he used. Like, what word did he use? That's the first thing that people wonder. Well, what did you say? Because there was apparently no real big hubbub about it the previous week, or none that I had seen or heard of. But then again, I don't have my ear to the ground. And so I just saw them thinking, well, what in the world was it? What was so bad? But the good thing was he apologized. Whatever it was, he seemed to be broken over. Now, me, I don't put a whole lot of credence into one person's emotional response because sometimes they're genuine, sometimes they're not. But I still want to know, what was the big deal that he said, and was there really a problem? Are you
Like I said before, he's going into this video. I don't even know this pastor, so I'm doing a live reaction. So if y'all know him, make sure you comment below. Let me know what you think. Should pastors apologize if they're wrong? I believe so. So I don't know if he's a pastor or not. But when we are wrong, I think we should always make amends. We should correct it and man up if they're saying, or woman up, and make those corrections public to, especially if it's a single person or if it's something like this, a church. If you pronounce it publicly, you should apologize. I think right now it's something going on in the bodybuilding. A guy, he pushed another content creator for whatever reason because he disagreed with him. But now the video footage came out, and it changes the scenarios. The other guy was big and this guy was a smaller guy. So of course, cancel culture, you're gonna come after this other guy. He's wrong, he shouldn't have did this and that. So I think I'm gonna do a video reaction on that. But because it has a lot to do with the world that we live in. If you're wrong, you need to man up and own it. Let's go ahead.
For your unsaved loved ones, for their eyes to be open. Are you pleading for their eyes to be? Just listen to the garbage you pray.
So this was a sermon entitled Weeds and Fire. I believe that's the same of it. And he was just talking about the condition of the world, but really about people who are supposed to be the weak and how they respond. The things that we're worried about, are we really worried about the things of God? And it was kind of, kind of a step on your toes, sort of a sermon, check yourself. It was impassioned. And then he says some things in a way that maybe he ought not have said it.
What about your money? What are you supporting? You put all this money into your hair and into your house and into your bills, and you won't put $1 into the Lord's work during the hour of redemption? What about your activity? You won't help move gospel ministry forward. You just want to be why are you content to just be a spectator during the hour of redemption? What this? I'm out of time.
And I get what he's saying. Now I'm gonna just stop it right here, just a little bit, try to interject. But I get part of what he's saying so far. We spend so much supporting organizations and things that we don't even want to support. But if you giving your money to say whatever organization, Disney, however, let's say something like that, then you hear the track record of their employees and what they're involved in, and the speculations or allegedly these activities that they're involved with or people of power are involved in. Are you supporting that You know what I mean? So that's like this upcoming election. One side is for abortions and everything else, the woman's right to choose. It sounds good, and everybody should have the right to choose. No government or no entity should make that decision. But then it's against the biblical theory that thou shalt not kill and everything else. So can you be hot or cold? And I can't wait to put that amazing video out by Vade Barkham about that. If you hot and cold, and that's generally what we battle with: moral clause, biblically, and offending maybe family members or people around us in our circle because we see things one way, even though it's morally or it can be biblically wrong. We can coincide because we know that, hey, I want to support this family member or whatever person, and they're wrong. So that's going to be a good one right there. But I see what he's saying. I don't believe in driving what is all electric. When I found out about the Congo and all that, the mines and how they're being treated and stuff, the pay that they're getting, and they call it like the slave trade or modern day slave trade. That's what they call it. Just research it for yourself. Check the reports. It's not allegedly, so I don't have to say that. But the inside videos that was coming out from there and how the workers are being treated. It was sad to see, but we don't see social media. We don't see the media itself covering those things, but we drive these cars. Like I say, it's a price to pay for everything in this world today, especially when it comes to technology. We want everything fast, but we don't even think about how we get it. And we pick and choose, of course, the clothes we wear, the designer brands and stuff like that. I don't associate. I can try to limit where my funds is going with something that resonates with me. Yes, I'm holistic. Yes, I do a lot of things naturally and stuff like that. I don't eat meat no more. But I used to eat it. I used to eat the same thing. I was a meat eater 40 something plus years, but I won't get a Tesla because I know where the vehicle's coming from. And I often think about we are so invested with things outside of this country that we're not invested in the country. But if you're a small business owner like myself, generally you're penalized if you don't have local goods or use the services that's in your own state of business. And the country does it all the time. So I'm a big believer in America first, letting people have their right to choose in different things, avenues. We understand that the government shouldn't be in your business, but wherever the law of the land, we got to still follow the law. That doesn't mean that it's biblically right. When it comes to certain aspects of certain things, you can't get over that. The law is the law, whatever they're gonna do. But I'm gonna do a whole story on that. Let's go ahead and continue. Sorry about the ramble. Hey, when I get passionate about something, you already know I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna keep it going, and I'm gonna just stay honest with you and just share my experience. Let's go.
I'm so frustrated. Is it helping you to understand what biblical Christianity is all about? Just listen, just listen to the preaching in our nation. Is it preparing you for the harvest that's coming? Is it awakening your soul towards man? Like, when's the last time you shed a tear for someone who is far away from God? See, you don't feel that grief because you don't give a darn. You don't give a damn about what God is doing right now. All you want is what you want.
And so that was it right there. He said, "You don't give a darn," and then he said that he uses the word DAMN. He didn't use it necessarily in a way that you probably ought to. But
I don't agree with him. Pastor's Curtis.
That could be offensive to someone, and so you want to be careful how you speak before the people. As a matter of fact, Paul says this: says, "Let your speech always be with grace, as though seasoned with salt, so that you will know how you should respond to each person." Mm-hmm. So it matters what we say, but it also matters how we say it. Now, that probably wouldn't have been so bad, but then he he says it again.
You are a useless wheat, planted with no purpose because you won't engage in what Jesus is doing. Nobody else coming behind you.
Now, I don't agree with nobody. Like I said, y'all already know, positive channel, positive person. I don't believe in down talking nobody, but you can't call people useless. Everybody has a purpose. I can't do it myself or accept it. Like I said, I don't know this young guy, but especially if you're ministering to a congregation, you can't say things that people might mimic or have your same sentiment. Nobody is useless in this world. We all have a design purpose. We're all capable of doing amazing things. We might be down often. We might be struggling, trying to find ourselves. We might be trying to do a lot of other things. Life will bring us up and down all over the place, but none of us are useless. We see the suicide rates. That's what happens when people actually believe that they are useless. They can't do any good, that they can't go on anymore. They end up taking their life, sadly. And I have a good friend of mine um, whose name was Keith Wallace, who I never forget. I have to maybe do a video on that story, and how people in the church and everything else, and he was in the ministry, kind of turned their back to him of what he told me, um, which led ultimately to him taking his own life in a tragic story. But if y'all want me to share, make sure you comment below and I share that experience. Have to put some disclaimers because it's about a brutal homicide that's being entitled to it. But don't call people useless people. Like I said before, I don't know this gentleman, but I can see the passion in them. But we do have to be mindful, just like Paul said in that scripture, what we say and how we say it. And I myself am guilty of that because sometimes I say things without speaking, but we all have lessons to learn. We all get better the more we do things. Let's go.
He planted you. He planted me. If we don't do the work in the field, who's going to do that work? If we're not praying, who's going to pray? If we're not advancing the gospel, who's going to do that? If we're not supporting gospel ministry, who's going to do that? If you don't give a damn, who is?
Now, what he was saying was really spot on, the passion and so forth. But it's if you don't give a damn, well, wait a second, hold on, wait a second. You have to be careful with what you say. You have to be responsible with what you say. Now, Paul puts it this way: he says, "Whatever you do, whether you eat or whether you drink, do it all to the glory of God." These are seemingly menial things we don't even think about. But he says, "Give no offense either to the Jews or to the Greeks or to the church of God. No just as I also please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of many, so that they may be saved."
I got to rewind that back. I just want y'all to get a chance, get this scripture right here and read it. Read it slow. Now, and this is Paul writing in there. And I just want y'all to take a moment and just breath of this. I know I ain't read scriptures out here, but I do love the Bible itself. And I think he has the translated one. So it's not too much stuff interpreted. They give you the original, how it's written in there, and then the other book. I got to find out. I know he said it before, how which Bible he's actually reading for, but I like the context. Whether then you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. Give no offense either to Jews or to Greeks or to the church of God. That's what I want to talk about right there. Give no offense either to Jews or to Greeks or to the church of God. Share your perception. Let me know what you think that phrase right there is pertaining to. I myself, when I see it, my interpretation is that we shouldn't talk harshly about anybody else. We shouldn't condemn them. We shouldn't publicly try to humiliate them, or even though we don't understand them. That's their own personal perception. That's the way I interpret it. And I could be wrong, but that's just my lifestyle. That's why I say y'all won't hear me talking negatively about nobody, even though I don't agree with them. I did what it was. Sorry about that. Drinking this drink, trying to get a quick workout in shortly. But I done did a couple of videos about Roland Martin. And even though I don't agree with his style, I just share my observation. He's an amazing interview I think he just did with Kamala Harris, and it's a long one. It's an hour. It was hard for me to get through that. Because I've been listening for policy, and y'all know my background, law enforcement, 25 plus years. I'm listening to specific things that I didn't hear or get the answers to it. But he is he's good at what he does. He researched, he did everything he had to, and he kind of coached her on some of the answers. And that's just from my investigative background. And having a know-how. You can see it for yourself. You probably come up with the same conclusion, but he was feeding her instead of asking the tough questions and giving the answers that we are looking for, or myself. That's my perception of that video. But watch it for yourself. Let me know what you think. But that's my interpretation of it. I don't know which one this is. Is it First Corinthians 19:31? So that's First Corinthians 19:31. Read it. Let me know your perception of it. But man, that is powerful right there. Give no offense either to the Jews or to the Greeks or to the church of God, just as I also please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of the many, so that they may be saved. Are you serious? All things, just as he also pleased all men in all things. Meaning, just like I said before, all of us have a purpose. We're all worthy. We all have something special about us, and none of us are useless. Let's go.
Not seeking my own profit, but the profit of many, so that they may be saved. So what comes out of your mouth actually matters. Now, in his apology, he just said that was just kind of something that's in his heart, that's still in his heart, that he has to work on, which is fine. The matter of fact, I think his apology was wonderful. They've since taken it down, and so I don't know if there's anywhere where you can see the apology. I didn't think anything about it until I just heard some more stuff about it today. But he apologized for it, which was fine. He talked to the people. He seemed to be broken by it, bothered by it. There was some pushback, because I can tell you for a fact that what you say, even if it's something that is small, seemingly harmless, someone's going to give you pushback. If I call a young lady sweetheart, and I mean nothing by it, someone's going to say, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say this. You shouldn't say that. So certainly when he says that, and he should be wise enough to know, I'm sure he is now, that you can't say certain words, use certain words in certain contexts before certain people, because everybody doesn't have the same heart or the same understanding or the same feeling. Some folks feel a certain way. And you've got to remember, you just can't use words that just can conjure up some sort of profanity, or not that what he said was profane or anything like that. I think what he said was spot on, but it's just a choice of words. And you have to be careful about that. So I think a lot of this probably is overblown. More and more folks are talking about it. I just don't think that it's that big a deal, but it does give an opportunity to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
That is, you don't just say what you want to say because you want to say it. It's not your style. That's important. It's not your tone. That's important. It's not your preferences that are important. What it is the people. And if your preference, your style, your tone is more important than the people that are hearing it, well, then you need to stop speaking, because what comes out of the mouth comes from the heart.
Yeah.
And if there's something there and you don't care, I can understand if it came out and, well, that's just who I am, then we have a problem. But at least with him, it came out and he didn't just give an excuse. Well, this is who I am, take it or leave it. This is how we talk. No, he apologized, which is what you should do. Again, he's not perfect. He's not pretending to be perfect. He's not saying, well, listen, I said it the way I wanted to say it. I wanted for cause and effect. No, he apologized because some folks were offended by it. That just shows maturity. It might have been maybe a lapse in judgment in the word that was used earlier, but then certainly sound judgment to come back and say, yeah, guys, I was wrong for that. I apologize. Forgive me. And then you keep on moving. For anybody that would want to condemn him for that, how do you condemn him for it if afterwards he comes back and apologizes? What do you want him to do? You want him to step down forever? You want him to quit? Now, if there's other issues with him, I don't know. I don't know a lot about his doctrine. I just now figured out his name. He's got 3 first names. And so I've been calling him the wrong name all this time. But what he did was what a person, not a pastor, but a person who names the name of Christ, what a person should do. And that's what, and he sets an example for anyone that says something. Sometimes you might even say something that is not even worthy of offense, but someone, because they're always looking for something, might take it to be offensive. And so what do? I apologize. If I can fix it next time, I will. I'll try to explain in my heart if what you did wasn't a sin, or maybe it was. This is what the word tells us, that if eating meat offends your brother, it's not that meat is wrong and eating meat is wrong. But if it offends your brother, then guess what? Don't do it in front of them, considering the weaker person. And that's what you're supposed to do. Anyone with a heart for the people, anyone with a pastor's heart, or anyone with just a loving heart, a concerned heart would do the exact same thing. So I applaud the young brother for this. I shouldn't say young brother. I don't know how old he is. I stopped saying that. But I applaud this brother for what he's done. I thought what he said was fine. Also, I haven't heard that. I think that was the only sermon I've heard thus far that he has preached. I didn't catch all of it, but I caught a good deal amount of it.
Yeah, like I said before, man, I'll put the full link to his video in the description below. I don't know the young brother's name. Um, and hopefully, I mean, he learned his lesson. He apologized. What else do you want from him? Like I say, I like Smart Christian's channel. He's generally on point with a lot of things he goes into. I don't know in his video if he had the full link in the description. But I mean, I'm starting to see that other guy pop up more and more out there. I think he is an energetic pastor or a public speaker, and he's a Christian speaker, whatever you want to call it now. But he's more of an entertainer. Um, I think his name might be Philip Anthony Mitchell. And I might do a video review or something that he has before. But man, I got a lot of amazing content. I think I go on vacation next week. Unfortunately, somebody stole my phone. So I mean, I'm gonna still put content out there. I might not be able to edit it like I need to or put the graphics and everything else in there until I can hopefully the phone is retrieved. I was dropping my son off at daycare. I pinged my last location. I had the Google Maps track it, and it was on the ground. Maybe it dropped out my the car when I got out the car. Came back out and it's gone. Somebody had to turn it off, but try to lock it, stuff like that. So if it is turned on, it will be locked, so they can't get access to my stuff. But you hate to have to do police reports, and I'm just thinking at the daycare you got the same, your kid go there. I know it's hard times for everybody. So I don't want to think maybe one of the kids picked it up or something like that, but it wasn't too many people during that time. Y'all know, like I said, law enforcement, only one other car I seen parked by mine when before I came in. So it would have had to be that one person who parked on that side of the car, but they would have had to park on the left side of me. Or depending on if you coming out the right side of me coming out, and I only seen one vehicle within 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes, within a 10-minute time frame. So, trying to get attached to the audio footage, I can make a good conclusion. But you'd hate for people to get in trouble off of something so simple or small. Hopefully a kid picked it up, but you just don't want others to get in trouble. Like I said, luckily I had my iPhone, old business phone, I can reactivate and transfer, but I don't have my software, the editing software, some of my business introductions and stuff like that for my reels and for my workout stuff and for the content I do on YouTube. But what can you say, man? You can't expect nothing out there, but I can still expect positive. I wouldn't talk down to them. Just want my phone back so I can do what I got to do more content. Um, but if it is what it is. We just pray for them, and they needed it more than I needed, I guess. Always a learning lesson. I think it just was a long, rough day, but I do have some exciting, good news and some good things in the works coming. So we appreciate y'all, man, for just sticking with us on this journey. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you just liking, commenting, showing that you're interested in the content. Because with you, man, we can do more. We can reach more people. So I want to actually start getting to doing my interviews, especially when it comes to people who I used to know, who work for the government, who work for the state, and just let y'all see the different perspectives. Like I said, I don't have to agree to disagree. I'm always respect people, regardless if they even showing me respect. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna never let somebody else get me out my character, because I know who I am and I know that what I'm capable of. But I'm not gonna tolerate disrespect. You know what I mean? I quickly end the conversation, but I do want to see people show positive outlets that you can talk to somebody, disagree, and not agree with them on everything, but just try to understand a different side to it. Like I said, I don't do politics, but it is some interesting things that I don't know if you can go right or wrong, or you can go you can be wrong if you're going for the wrong thing, So I just said leave it up to your own discernment, in your heart if it's right for you, what you truly believe, but just look at the facts, make educated decisions, do what's best for you and your family. And if you're not spiritual, think about it through a spiritual lens. Would God accept it? Will your mother accept it? Because generally a lot of us have high esteem or respect for our parents' views or for our elders' views, and would they accept it, even though they're not alive or they're not with us today, or maybe they are, would they accept whatever we're doing or whatever we're supporting? Just like the biblical, what he said, what Paul said. I'm never sure you disrespect. So treat me as such, and I'm gonna treat you as such. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all know we got to ramble on a little bit more. Let me know what you think about the Smart Christian channel. Let me know what you think about that video right there. If you know the young pastor right there, try to watch his content. I'm gonna see if I can find some videos on Philip Anthony Mitchell. And if y'all want me to do a video review, I'm gonna do it. But we got amazing content. Watch some of these videos right here. Let me know what you think. Appreciate y'all for sticking with us on this journey. And with that, we out.